The difference between 8.4, we used the number line before, like this, but we could also start at 10, and is the 10, is that a whole number, or is that bits?
Bits.
It's bits. So what is the 8.4? Is 8 the bits, or?
No. 4 is a bit, and 8 is the whole.
8 is the whole. So what would 10 be? Is it 10 bits or 10 wholes?
Whole.
Yeah, it is. So I've got 10 wholes, and then I've got 8.4. And when they mention the difference, you actually probably want to take one away from the other. And because this is the biggest one, I'm going to put 10 on top. And I'm using my place value. I know the 0 is in the ones place, ones, and the 1 is in the, what's the 1 in? What place value is that 1 in? 10. 10, yeah. 10s. So I've got my 1 here. And then I've got, so I'm just going to divide it. So anything on the left side here, I'm talking whole numbers, whole pizzas, whole whatever. Anything on the right side of what I'm going to say is like the decimal points. Mr. Blair loves using the word and. Some of that. Whenever you see the decimal point, just think of and some bits. Bits. And this side is the whole numbers. The whole pizzas, and on this other side, some bits. Whatever. Once you've got enough bits to make a whole, then that whole jumps over to the ones. So at the moment I've got 10, and I'm going to minus 8.4. So I'm going to put a minus here, minus. Where would I place 8.4 so I keep everything lined up? Where would I place that?
Bottom of it.
At the bottom, okay. So where would I place the 8? Which is it, in the 10s, the 1s? Where?
Wait, wait. Can you repeat the question again?
Yes. I've got 10 whole pizzas, and Layla came over to your place and she ate 8.4. I want to know how much she's left you. So where would I place the 8 and the 0.4? And here. I know it's underneath, but where? Here? 8.4?
Yep.
Okay. Hands up, you agree? Abate agrees? No, he's going, no. Zaina, where should I place it?
You should place the 8 in the ones, and then the 0.4, and then the 4 after the decimal point.
Yeah.
Because like the decimal points have to be in the same area.
Yeah, so basically anything on the left side is the whole pizza, so 8 whole pizzas. And Layla's eaten 4 slices in the 10s column. We've got the 10, then we've got the 10s. And next to the 10s would be the hundredths. And in this case, we're not dealing with hundredths because we've only got one decimal place value. So we've got one decimal point after the decimal point. So there's one digit. At the moment, just for an example, if I had 8.42, how many digits are after the decimal point in this case here? Sure.
Wait, after the decimal point?
Yeah, how many digits are after the decimal point?
The fourth two is 2 decimal points. If you're gonna go this.
Yeah, so there'll be 2 digits. What about if there's another digit? How many digits are after the decimal point now?
3.
3, yeah. So as long as we understand digits, what we're talking about, this is 1 digit, this is 2 digits, it's now 3 digits. As long as we understand the wording, the vocabulary. So in this case, I have 8.4, which is really saying 8 whole pizzas and 4 slices out of 10. To help me do this, because this one is 10 wholes, what I will do, I'm going to add a decimal point. What number or what digit do you think I will put above the 4?
0.
0.
Why would I do that, Chip? Does it make a difference or not really?
Doesn't make a difference.
No. And when I'm going to minus, and I know some people, tell me what I've said wrong. 8.4 minus 10 will give me the answer. What have I said wrong, or have I said it correct? 8.4 minus.
You said it wrong.
What should I say?
0 minus 8. No. 10. I mean, 10
Yeah.
minus 8.
Start with the biggest one. Some people do say I minus 8.4 from 10. You could say it that. It's just the way people phrase it can be tricky. And the 0 represents nothing. And the very first thing I suggest before I do any adding, minusing, multiplication, division, I notice there's a decimal point here. What would I do before I even do anything else? Zaina.
You put the decimal point in the middle.
Yeah. And that's because sometimes we forget it. So if you remember, do it right at the start, probably get the answer. All right. Shook's run away. Shook, come back. Oh, she's back. All right, Shook, help me out. I have 0. Can I minus 4 from 0? Can I do that?
No.
Oh, what do I do now?
Wait. So you you take from the weight?
I take from the weight. Who's this weight guy?
Oh, 10. Wait, do you do 10 minus 4? No, you put 0.
I put 0 here.
No.
Wait. Yeah, wait, no.
Year weight, no. What? I've got so many different year weight no's. No year weight. What? I'll tell you what, you can phone a friend. You can phone one friend. Who would you like to phone? Do we have an anywhere?
Shama?
Shama, help. We need some help. What do we do?
So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to borrow from the one in front of it.
Okay, 0. 0's got nothing.
If you can't borrow from 0, then borrow from the 1.
This one over here?
Yeah.
All right, so if I borrow.
And then it's going to become 0 since there's no number under it, so it's most affected. Then this one's going to become 10.
10, okay.
And then take 1 from the 10.
So that leaves
9.
9, and then I bring that 1 over here to make this.
So then now you can have 4 take away, 10 take away 4.
All right. Well, carry on.
6 left.
10 take away 4 leaves 6, yep. And then I've got 9 minus 8 leaves.
It's 1.6.
Yeah, 1.6. And how else does Mr. Blair want you to say that? It's with the words. Shema.
1 6/10.
Yeah, so it's 1 is our decimal point. Up here we've got and 6, and we're in the tens column. How would I say it? If the answer was that, how would you say that one then? Layla.
1 and 6/10 and 6 100, 500, I think, or 6,500.
That's the one, yeah. So 1 and, so the one, anything in front of the and is the one whole, and 65 hundredths. And actually, Mr. Blair should have put a th on the end. The hundredths, hence hundredths. If there was another decimal place, if there was a third one, what would we go in this area here? We've got tenths, hundredths, a baby. Thousands. And the reason I've brought that up, I'm looking at that next one over here. I've got this number here, and I've got this number here, 3.6, and I also have 9.493. Who thinks they're brave enough to have a go at saying this with the vocabulary? Oh, let's choose someone who didn't put their hand up. Oh, and someone's going, oh no, please don't you pick me, Mr. Blair. Look, he's even put his hand up now. Oh, let's go with Fatima Al-Mahiri. You didn't put your hand up, let's choose you then. You're safe, Salman. How do I say these two numbers?
9 and 4 and 4 4/10, 903 thousandths.
You're close.
493 thousandths.
Good. Say that one more time.
9 and 493 thousandths.
Good deal. And what about this one over here? How would I say that one?
3 and 6/10.
Brilliant. Well done. It can get a bit tricky once you get up to these sort of higher, or the amount of digits after the decimal place, where Mr. Blair makes you say it with the vocabulary. Eventually, when you're in grade 7, 8, you'll say, oh, thank goodness Mr. Blair explained that. Or maybe you might think, that was pretty annoying, Mr. Blair, making us do all that extra work. Didn't need it. Never going to use it again in my life. Why is he making us do this? So in this case, I have 3.6 and I have 9.493. Which one am I going to take away from the other one? I tell you what, have a think about it. Hands up if you've done this. All right, hands up if you have not done it, but you might use the clue from over here to have a go. Excellent. Those people that have finished, I'm going to give you one extra one. I'm going to put 12.5 and Selman, how old are you?
11.
Oh, 11 point, I'll use combination. Oh no, I won't use that. 7, 4, 8. Okay, so can you see that one, those fast finishes? All right, have a go at that. Be back in a sec.
Mr. Blair?
Shema?
I
You think you got the answer? All right, hands up if you think you've got the answer to the difference between 3.6 and 9. All right. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get you just to tell me your answer before I get someone to explain how they got the answer. So if I ask you, there's a lot going on here, so Lisa's going to tidy this up a little bit. All right. If I call out your name and your answer's the same as someone else's, you just don't need to you say that don't need to say anything. So I'm looking for if there's different answers. All right, Sharon, what is your answer to the difference between 3.6 and 9.493?
I got 5 and 893,000.
Wow, and perfect, the way you pronounce that. Okay, I don't know if it's correct yet. I'm going to have to work it out myself. Anyone get something different? Leila.
I think it might be 5 and 17 tenths. I mean hundredths.
Sorry, so
I mean tenths.
17 tenths or 17 hundredths? Well, sorry, what? Tell me like 5 point, just give me the digits. Tell me that.
5.17.
5.17, correct? Okay, thank you. Anyone get something different? Zaina.
Negative 5.893.
Negative 5.893.
893.
Okay. Anyone get something different than those three? Okay. Shaker. What? Oh, no, Shaker. Yes, Shaker.
I didn't get something different, but I think I know why Zaina got a negative.
All right, I'll come to you in 1 second. Anyone get something different to any of those? Okay, all right. Shaker, explain what you think Zaina may have done.
Well, the first one says 3.6 and 9.493. So I'm thinking that Zaina went 3.6 minus 9.493 instead of going 9.493 minus 3.6, or finding how much it takes to get to that number.
Let's find out. Zaina, did you have this 3.6 as a number perhaps on top and you minus 9.493? Is that what you think you may have done?
I put the 3.6 on top, then I put the 9.493 on top, then and at the end I got the answer negative because there's this 3 and then there's in the bottom 9. I noticed that 3 isn't greater than 9, so it will turn out a negative. I just did, and then I got the answer, which is gonna be, and then I can minus them, and then I got negative 5.893.
Okay, we'll address that in one moment. So remembering that when we look at the difference is between, so before we had an example, Shuk was 11, Ahmed is 12. The difference between their ages is how much? Salman, the difference between Shuk's age and Ahmed's age is how many? How many should be the right grammar, or the correct grammar? Salman's left the meeting. He's gone to get his calculator super quick to work out 12 minus 11. It's a tricky one, Salman. If only you had 12 fingers. Oh, he's back. He's found his fingers. He's borrowed some from his brother. What? Are you having a party at your place?
No.
No? All right, 12 and 11. What is the difference? Sounds like a party. I wasn't invited. Difference is 1. The difference is 1, yep. So in this case, we're trying to find the difference between what's in the middle, basically. So what we really want to do is start with the biggest number. And I'm looking at 9, and I'm looking at 3, because 9 holds bigger than 3, so I would put 9 at the top, 4, 9, 3. Then I put 3.6 underneath. Where would I place it so I know I've got it in the right place value? Shama, where would I place it?
What I did is I put the decimal point under the one on top,
Perfect.
and then I put the 3 in front of the decimal point and the 6 behind it.
I like it. Fantastic. And is there anything else I would do before I start doing anything here? Yeah, oh, obeyed, yeah, obeyed. What do I do?
First thing you have to do is add a decimal point on the bottom and add zeros.
I had a decimal point on my bottom. What?
No, to the bottom where you add the answer.
Straight underneath, yep.
Yeah,
Perfect.
and you add zeros for 3.6 or 3.6.
I like that. So I'm actually just gonna put them like a little dotted one, just to help you remember. This helps you keep your place value as long as you've got them lined up. You've done well. All right. The next thing is, what would I do next? Zaina, talk me through it.
So first of all, you're gonna start from the right. 3 minus 0, we can do that. That's 3. And then 9 minus 0, we can do that. That's 9. And then 4 minus 6, we can't do that. So we go to the we go to the left. 9, and then we take away from it 1, 8. And then we get and then we put 1, and which makes it 14. Then we do 14 minus 6, which would equal 8. And then and then we do 8 minus 3. 8 minus 3, which would equal 5.
So 5.893 or 5 and 893 thousandths, which would be this one. So hands up if you got that one. Well, and Zaina, you got that one as well, and you also got this one.
Mr. Blair, I put it 3.6 at the top. Then I realized that I got another paper that's next to it that put it 9.493 at the top. Then when I was explaining, I looked at the paper and I kept on raising my hand so I can tell you that the answer.
So sorry about that there, Zaina. All right. Anyway, so that's the way you do it. Line them up. The biggest one goes on top. Decimal place straight underneath. And if you need some extra place value holders, like the zeros, put them in there. Layla, what did you get? Where do you think, because you had 5.17 or 5 and 1700.
I miscalculated it. I forgot to minus them above each other, and then I don't know what I did anymore.
No,
And then I just did it again. I tried what you guys were trying, and before Zaina started explaining, I got the right answer.
Excellent. All right. Anyone get up to this one? 12.5 and 11 and. All right. I'll tell you. I will give everyone 2 minutes, and I want everyone to write this in your book. Write this one in there. Have a go. So if I randomly call someone like Salman or Taj or Dana or Nana or Fatima or Mariam Al-Shamsi or Ahmed or Reen or Mariam Al-Naimi or Saeed or Layla or Jamana or Ahmed Abu Nasser or Shama or Zaina or Shuk or Amna or Misk or Khalifa or Sheikha or Fatima Al-Taniji. Who have I missed? Or Obaid. No, we can't miss you, Sheikha.
Blair.
Or Zaina.
I was just about to celebrate that you forgot my name.
Sorry, Mariam.
Mr. Blair, for 12.5 and 11.748, I will minus like 12.5 on the top, then 11.748. Is that what I'm supposed to do? Because I'm doing it.
Yep, okay, so the first thing you look at, which number is the biggest number? So the first thing you do is you get them in the place value. Line them up in the place value chart. Let's change this. And here's my decimal point. I'm just going to put decimal point. And the word Mr. Blair uses for decimal point, if you say it with the vocabulary, would be, what would it be, Stina?
And.
Yep, and. Then on the left side, we are dealing with ones, tens, hundreds, and so on. Now knowing you could do this if you want to do. Might confuse you a little bit.
Mr. We can't.
So that we have on the right after the decimal point, what will be the place value of the first column on the right of the decimal point? Fatima Altaniji. What is that one called?
Huh?
It's called ha. It's called ha. All right, now it's called ha. I just put ha. All right.
Mr. Blair, we can't see the top.
You can't see.
Yeah, we
Okay,
can't.
can you see it now?
Yeah.
So we've got on the left side of the decimals, over this side, we've got the whole numbers. We've got ones, tens, hundreds. Then we've got the decimal point, which means and then we've got ha. Is the next one on the right?
No.
Yeah, it says ha. I can see it. Layla.
I figured out the answer.
Okay, before we get to the answer, can someone help? Mr. Blair's confused. Should it be ha or should it be ho?
None.
Or hat? Shama.
It's supposed to be tenths.
Ah, and I like the way you went tenths. Tenths. So no ha. Tenths. What would be the next one after the tenths? What do you think, Fatima Altaniji?
Hundred.
Hundredths, yes, good girl. Hundredths. And oh, who was that calling out? Surely not that person.
Me by accident.
Again, you accidentally called out again to apologise that you accidentally called out. Oh my godfather. Miss, what will be the next one?
Thousand.
Thousands. Excellent. Oh, geniuses. Thousands. Now, there's got a big mess over here. Clean it up. All right. So let's choose someone intelligent. So many to choose from. Layla.
Should I say the answer?
No, I'm just going to choose you. Layla, do you know someone intelligent?
Me.
Oh, good. Okay, me. What are we going to do? How are we going to place 12.5 and 11.748? What do I do? Teach me.
So you put the 12.5. So the 0.5. The 5 goes at the tenths, and then the 12 goes by the tens and the ones.
So the 5 goes here.
Yes.
And
The decimal point goes there.
And then the 2 and the 1s and the, yeah. And then what do I do?
Then you put the 11 under the 12.
So just put it, can I do that?
No.
Why not? I just did.
Put 1 under the 10.
1, 1. Like this.
Yeah, like that.
Good.
And then you put the decimal point. And then you put the 7 under the 5. And then you put the 4 under the hundredth, and then you put the 8 under the thousandth.
Perfect. All right, and that's good so far. What's the next step, Layla? Continue.
You put the line under it. And then you put the decimal point right under the rest of them.
And am I adding or minusing?
Minus.
All right. Is there anything else I might do to help me solve this before I start solving it? Layla?
You put the zeros next to the 5. One of the zeros under the hundredths and another 0 under a thousandth.
And again, I'm just going to make them
An imaginary 0.
Yeah, and so they are sort of like placeholders. They're able to help you solve these ones now. This can be a little bit tricky, but Layla, have a go. What are we going to do first?
First you do 0 minus 8, which is not possible, so you borrow from the next row, but you can't borrow because there's nothing there, so then you go to the next row again, and then you take 1 away from the 5. And then it becomes 4. Then you put the 1 next to the imaginary 0, and then you take away from that one, and then it becomes 9. And then you add 1 onto the next one. And then that becomes 10. So 10 minus 8 equals 2. And then 9 minus 4 equals 5. And then you can't do 4 minus 7, so you borrow from the 2 in the next row. And then that becomes 1. And then you put a 1 next to the 4, and then that becomes 14. And 14 minus 7 is 7. And then 1 minus 1 is 0, and another 1 minus 1 is 0.
Yeah.
And then it points, it's 0 and 752,000.
Perfect. And if you ever get a chance and you've got time to recheck your work, what you can do is if you add these last 2 rows, what's the opposite to minus? Abate?
Addition.
So if I turn that minus into a plus, if I add up these last 2 rows, it should equal the same as my original answer of 12.5. So let's try this. Okay. Shaker, you'll do. All right, I'm going to add up these last 2 rows to double check that that Layla's correct. 8 plus 2. Talk me through it.
8 plus 2 is 10, so it's 0, and you carry the 1. 4 plus 5 is 9. And 10, because of the 1. Carry the 1 to the next one. 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 plus 7 is 15, so you write 5, and you carry the 1. And then 1 plus 1 plus 0 is 2. Don't forget the decimal point, though. And 1 plus nothing is 1.
And my answer says 12.5.
12.5.
Yeah. So remember we added those 2 zeros on just as the placeholder. So you can chop them off, you don't need them, doesn't matter. 12.5. So you know you are correct. So you're smarter than calculators. Shema.
Actually, I got it wrong because instead of doing 12.5 on top, I did it under the 11, so I got 19.248.
Okay, but you know where you went wrong? And that's the whole point of this. One other little bit of advice is just when you get all of these things here, what you want to do, just to know, or to help you decide which one's bigger, is this. 7.4, which one's bigger, 7.4 or 6.987499? Which one's, hands up if you're not sure which one is bigger. Excellent. Thank you for being honest. So my first point would be to look at the very first digit. I can see that 7 is in front of the decimal. Anna, which digit over here is in front of the decimal?
6.9 6.987499.
Yep. And which one of those digits you just said is on the left of the decimal?
9. Oh, I mean 7.4.
Well, I guess 7.4 is in front of that decimal, yeah, on the left. But which digit would, in this number here, which digit is on the left-hand side of the decimal point right here? Which
6.
6, yeah. So when you get these ones, just line them up underneath each other. So I could have 7, I could put 6 here, and then I could just, as long as I've got the decimal straight under there, next one's 9, next one's 8, 7, 4, 9, 9. All I'm looking at, I just need to look at that very first 7 or 6. Which one's greater? Which one's the biggest number? Emma, 7 or 6?
Can you repeat?
I can. I'm only looking at just one of the place value. So if I actually set it out over here, I could move 7.4. Here's my decimal. Put the 7 in the ones place, because that's just 7 whole, 7 ones. And then the 4 goes in the tens. Next thing, I'm going to put the decimal point here, and the 6 is in front of the decimal point. And then I just put in my digits, 9 in the tens, the 8 is in the hundreds, the 7 is in the thousands, 499, let's write this down so I remember. And then I continue, 4, 9, 9. The first thing I do, Anna, is I look at this one. They've both got numbers in the ones. This number's saying 7, and this one's saying 6. So I just look at one at a time. Which one is the biggest number, 7 or 6?
7.
7. So straight away, that's automatically going to be the biggest number. It's not how many digits you have. You look at the place value. Which number would be bigger now? If this one said 26.987499, is it this one or 7.4? Emma?
26 points.
Yep. What about now? All right, I'm going to add 2 more on here. Which one? That one? Top one or the bottom?
The bottom.
Yeah. So just look at place value. That's all it is. And when you do your difference, if these were my digits, and it's decided 26 point whatever is bigger than 17 point whatever, I'd put 26 on top. Always put the big one on top. Otherwise, you probably end up with a negative number. That sort of makes sense? Which one? Anyone still a little bit, and be honest, hands up if you're still a little bit confused with this? Yeah, and that's fine. That's Mr. Blair's job to help fill in those gaps, and it's all about place value. So that will be our next step. I'm going to stop recording that because I don't want it to go forever, but don't be afraid to come back and re-watch these videos. You don't have to do anything, you can just watch. But those smart people might give themselves, make your own ones up. Nothing wrong with having a go and then getting a calculator to check. Nothing wrong with that. Unless you're doing it in an exam or a test. I wouldn't do that.